Were there feds instigating January 6th? Or is Fox News looking at another costly lawsuit?
Please, not again.
This is Not My Party. Brought to you by The Bulwark. Okay, question for y'all. Who was this man?
For millions of consumers of conservative news, a provocateur responsible for turning peaceful protests on January 6th into a violent assault on the U.S. Capitol.
This was one of the most fascinating subplots of January 6th for me. Why was a tall, docile-seeming older gentleman leading the red-hatted mob and imploring them to go into the Capitol?
We need to go into the Capitol! Into the Capitol!
Months after the insurrection, Republican Congressman Thomas Massie pressed Attorney General Merrick Garland on this question. Massie asked why he wasn't being investigated and implied that it might be because he was an agent of the government.
You said this was one of the most sweeping investigations in history, and as far as we can find, this individual has not been charged with anything. I was hoping today to give you an opportunity to put to rest the concerns that people have that there were federal agents or assets of the federal government present on January 5th and January 6th.
The plot thickens.
A few days later, Darren Beattie, a man who had been so racist that he got kicked out of the Trump administration,
That is impressive.
named the individual, Ray Epps. Beattie explicitly made the case that Epps and others near the Capitol that day were FBI agents who were part of an operation to stoke the mob. He called it a Fedsurrection.
Catchy name.
From there, the Epps theory exploded in conservative media, with since-fired Fox host Tucker Carlson taking the lead.
What Ray Epps did on that video is a federal crime, but no charges have ever been filed. We'd like an answer to what the heck is going on.
And I gotta admit, while I never thought that the FBI orchestrated January 6th, Trump did that, I was kind of fascinated by this Epps character. To my eye, it did seem quite suspicious. Lots of people were getting arrested. Why not that guy?
Yeah, what gives?
It turns out the January 6th committee took this question much more seriously than Tucker did.
Shocking.
What they found out supported my most sacred maxim about politics. When you see something weird happen, the explanation is almost always straight out of Veep, not House of Cards.
People are just stupid.
Idiotic ineptitude, not evil plotting.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Epps testified that he wasn't trying to cause a riot. He thought the Capitol was gonna be open and that people would peacefully protest. So when he got to the barricades and saw that it was far from peaceful, he tried to calm things down.
We're not trying to get people hurt. They don't want to get hurt. You don't want to get hurt.
And then he grabbed a person who had fallen to the ground and took him to safety. Spooked by all the violence he witnessed, he bailed.
That really got out of hand fast.
Epps is so gullible that he told the committee he still didn't even believe it was his people, the Trump supporters, who could cause that much damage. He believed a different conspiracy, that there was Antifa in his midst. That's how clueless this guy is.
He's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
So the story of why Ray Epps wasn't arrested isn't criminal mastermind protected by the CIA and FBI. The actual story is idiot bungles his way into a world of shit and bails before the real crime starts.
This notion that somehow the violence at the Capitol on January 6th was part of some operation orchestrated by FBI sources and agents is ludicrous.
Real life is so boring.
But for Fox, that pretend story was so convenient that they didn't really investigate it. Blaming an agent of the woke FBI was much preferable to blaming themselves. That's why Carlson insisted over and over and over that the Epps conspiracy was the only rational explanation. He mentioned Epps on over 20 episodes of his program. He even made this graphic calling him Fed Epps.
So clever, so talented.
This put huge attention on Ray Epps. MAGA's doxed him. He got death threats. And now he lives in an RV in an undisclosed location in the Rocky Mountains to avoid harassment.
It's not the ideal situation,
But it could be worse.
At first, he demanded an on-air apology from Fox that they never provided. So this week, he said he's prepping a lawsuit, which he hopes will get the suit's attention, seeing as Fox already had to pay out a $787.5 million lawsuit to Dominion Voting Systems over the network's election lies.
Karma's a bitch.
This whole story is a warning to all of us in the news biz. If a wild explanation is convenient for your preferred political interests, as the Fed theory was for Fox, then maybe check your priors and do some additional research before popping off about it. Or else you might find yourself in Tucker's shoes, fired and live streaming from a basement, screaming about aliens, hoping you don't get sued again.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh.
See you next week for more Not My Party. Enjoy, Tucker. For more episodes of Not My Party, smash that subscribe button. And scan right here to subscribe on Snapchat, where you can get the episodes first and all the Not My Party content you desire.